Far to the northwest corner of India, in the heart of the great Himalaya mountains, lies a hidden valley, one of the most cherished and beautiful lands of the eastern world. It is the Vale of Kashmir, with its curious capital city, Srinagar. Kashmir was the beloved pleasure land of the famed Mughal emperors who until 300 years ago ruled one of the largest empires the East has ever known. It is to this ancient home of the emperors that we go to enjoy a peep into this wonderland of natural scenery and of happy people. Until a few years ago, none but serious travelers or explorers could make the 200-mile journey over the 15,000-foot barrier of surrounding mountains that separate Kashmir from the spreading plains of India. Over these passes, where pack trains with so much difficulty and peril traveled before, we may drive in comfort along a zigzag mountain road, a marvel of modern engineering built with the aid of Western road makers by the Maharaja, Prince Ruler of Kashmir. If you are one of the fortunate visitors, you will gladly pay the toll of $10 to speed so easily over these mountains to this most amazing and lovely city of the East, built over the waterways of the great Jhelum River, which for 3 miles forms its high street or Broadway. Srinagar, the capital of Kashmir, is old, very old. It boasts of written records dating back to the time of Christ. Many times in its history, Kashmir has been sacked and plundered, but still it lives on. The descendants of the emperors preserved their distinct nationality and, clinging to the soil of their beloved valley, are now happy under its present good and just ruler, the Maharaja Sir Hari Singh. In the heart of the city stands the Shah Hamadan, the principal Mohammedan mosque, with inlaid walls scintillating the brilliance of crystal and precious stones. Every day the Mohammedan of Kashmir, despite his occupation, gives a sacred half-hour to prayer. In the open streets, with the busy city life going on about him, he pauses to commune with his God. At this sacred place where man speaks to God, all life is respected. No wildlife is taken. There is a pool here where the fish swim in from the river to eat bread from the hand of the priest. The creatures seem to know instinctively that both they and man are children of the one great Creator and are as children together, one feeding at the hand of the other. Just as Srinagar, built on the water, has been called the Venice of the East by the Western visitors who now journey each year to see it, so we might also call the countryside where we must travel by boat over lakes, rivers, and canals, the Holland of the East. How well has nature blessed Kashmir? Everything needed for life seems to have been placed close to hand. Just the casting of a net over the water brings a reward of several fish at every throw. Isn't this something like the parable of the loaves and fishes? Water is their principal means of transportation. The produce of the country is brought to the city in long gondola-like boats called dunga. Most families, in addition to their quaint homes along the shores, have houseboats where they spend many hours contented and happy. On the deck of her floating home, the housewife spins with a crude wheel, as used in the days of the prophets. As these primitive peoples sojourn about the waterways, they are accompanied by all their domestic animals and float easily along amid the green pastures with plenty of eggs, meat, or milk to supply their needs. For 150 miles throughout the length of the Vale of Kashmir, our craft may glide amid scenery that can only be produced by the master hand of nature. The people live in charming thatch-roofed cottages, clustered into villages beneath shading willow and poplar trees. Let's tie up our boat by this village for a few moments and watch their way of doing things. Primitive? I should say they are. This is just the way they ground the rice and corn in the days of the Bible. How hard these women work. For hours and hours each day they work at the rice mills. But yet they find time to raise and care for families, too. There are lots of children about, with bare feet and braided locks falling about their shoulders and over their long cloak-like gowns. Another striking thing is just this. After all, with these most primitive methods, they do reach a certain high efficiency. These two revolving stones grind out corn as fine as our finest white flour. I won't say that it's impossible to get a little stone grit in the biscuits this way, but that's just what the doctor advises. Eat roughage to aid digestion. They have everything they need. By irrigating the rich soil of the ancient lake bed as their forefathers did in biblical days, using these age-old water hoists, they raise many kinds of fruits, vegetables, and beautiful blossoms. The women are carrying the rice in from the fields. Good use is made of everything, and nothing is wasted. The rice stalks are woven into thick, soft matting to cover the tops and floors of the attractive little houses, and as waterproof roofing for the houseboats. Dinner is being served. Perhaps they will ask us to have some. What will it be? Bruised lamb and rice, boiling in those huge pots, pounds of it. Nature gives them abundance of everything, and luxuries too. Good tobacco grows in Kashmir, and everyone enjoys it. Isn't this grand old dame indeed greatly pleased with her pipe? She inhales the strong smoke, cooled by passing through water in the earthen bowl. Even baby likes it. They start him young in Kashmir. When you ventured to this distant land, you expected to leave the luxuries of life behind. You surely didn't think that you would find a nice hot radiator to sit by, did you? However, here it is, the Kashmir radiator, filled with glowing coals. During cold weather, each native carries a pot like this and applies the heat where most needed. Holes in his coat give necessary ventilation. Now let's go to a show. It's a free open-air show given by the people. They are all happy children of nature, and after the day's work is over, the villagers turn out every evening to express their joy in happy song and dance. So the day passes, and the people work and play, but never at the end of day will they forget their God. It is a part of the daily life of every native to speak to his God in prayer and thank him for the blessings that nature has bestowed. Perhaps it is this devotion that through the ages has permitted him to retain his native soil against the aggressor, and from generation to generation dwell in prosperity and happiness in the beautiful Vale of Kashmir.